Okay, on behalf of the retirees board, welcome to our first attempt at a Christmas party here, visual. I see we have a couple important people that just came on. Hi, Maria. Can you hear us? You're muted right now. Can someone unmute Maria? Well,
You can't.
who can control Maria Pope's mic?
I'll take a shot at that.
Okay. Well, anyhow, welcome to our first Zoom webinar. I'm going to have John McLean explain the rules because there's participants and then there's panelists, and so we'll try to get through all that. So go ahead, John.
Hi, Maria. Can you hear me?
Yeah, there she is.
So for whatever reason, it says Maria Pope under my name, but this is Ann.
Okay. Well,
I can.
I've been promoted, I guess.
All right. Well, that's why I'm saying you didn't look like a Maria Pope, but I thought maybe you were sharing the screen with her or something.
Yeah, no, I don't know why it's doing that.
We got Leanne Sneath there. We got
Stan.
Hi. Well, anyhow, we got Ann. So, but we won't tell Maria that you're using her name.
I'm gonna rename my screen.
Oh
now
lady,
it's Ann.
it's been taken care of. It's
Okay,
Ann.
okay. Thank you.
All right. Well, anyhow, John, is Maria supposed to be on?
I assume so. Leanne and Ann, or
Yes,
maybe
she'll be on.
Okay,
Yeah.
she'll be on. Okay,
All right,
fine.
no problem.
We'll work around that because that's not a problem. So, John, go ahead and explain to our almost 50 participants so far in climbing the rules of panelists and the participants.
Well, welcome everybody. I thought my background today was appropriate. It is Timothy Lake. So, and Maria, I can see, is coming on board now. This is our first crack at trying a webinar approach. We obviously can't pull a whole lot of people into a room like we normally do for a Christmas luncheon. So we upgraded the Zoom account to try a webinar, which means, hi Maria.
I love your shirt and your background.
Timothy Lake. So for all of you out there as attendees, imagine that you're at a conference and you're in the audience, so you can see and hear us as panelists on the stage, but we can't particularly see and hear you. But the way you can communicate is there's a chat room function, a chat icon at the bottom, and Ed Gorman is our co-host, and he's a technical, you can ask him questions. How do I do this? How do I unmute? And Ed can maybe help you. With that, we have Terry Clellan and Leanne Sneath today as the co-captains of the Q&A button. So if you have questions for Ann or Maria or Terry or anybody, shoot off a question to us, and you don't have to wait. You can submit your questions now, and Leanne and Terry will either answer them or say we'll answer that later, or pass on a few questions to Maria and Ann and Stan. So those are the three areas. You're attendees, we are panelists. You can communicate through the chat room. You can communicate with questions through the Q&A button. We have some musical, I've given them the title Musical Maestros today. Bill Valek and Dwayne Wistoff are here today, and they're going to provide a musical interlude. You heard their music at the beginning, and we'll have a fun interview with them as retirees. I think you'll enjoy that. And then at the end, we'll have a poll, because as the tradition of our Christmas luncheons is, Stan and Terry feel this competitive need to tell jokes. And there'll be a poll at the end where you can give us some feedback and decide which one of them have the better jokes. That'll be a part of our feedback. We were going to try caroling and some Christmas sweater contests, but we just felt overwhelmed. We are amateurs. We are learning. It'll be a little awkward, but thank you for joining us today, and especially our guests, Maria and Ann and Leanne, jumping in. We will be recording this, and then we're going to edit it down and probably post it for the other retirees or to see the messages that are coming. I think they're all interested. So with that, I'll turn it back to Mr. Stan.
Okay, well, like I say, welcome, and I'm glad that both Maria and Ann could join us. It's a privilege to have them. But I just want to let you know that in just 2 weeks, we'll be ringing in 2021. How many of you are fed up with 2020?
Yeah.
COVID-19 has done a big number on all of us. I am sure. Hopefully all the people, or majority of the people, are well and healthy, but we do want to pray for any of our retirees that have been infected with the COVID. And because of COVID-19, almost all of the activities that the board, retirees board normally support have been greatly affected. We had to cancel bowling, golf, picnic, tours, and most missed luncheons. It's just unfortunate as all get out. And even the Red Cross blood drives have been effective because the results have been about in half of what they normally are, because most of the PGE employees are working from home. But on a brighter note, our communication team has been doing a wonderful yeoman's job in trying to get the new website up and running. We have over 850 people signed up for email. 420 are using Facebook, and we have about 100 using snail mail. So I want to thank all of those. And this is our first attempt at doing something like this. And if it's successful, we'll try to do something like this in the near future. But I want to give out a big thank you to John McLean, Ed Gorman, Lynn Hune, Judy Francis, Terry Clellan, Dana Lander, and Kimberly Hamling. And a special thank you for PGE Corporation for helping finance this change. So at this time, I'd like Terry Judkins to give us a couple little brighter note items. So go ahead, Terry,
All right,
couple jokes.
we'll see how this works here, right, Gubby?
All right.
This last Wednesday, passenger in a taxi heading for Stanford leaned over and asked the driver a question, gently tapping him on the shoulder to get his attention. The driver screamed and lost control of the cab and nearly hit a bus, drove up on the curb and stopped just inches from the plate glass window. A few minutes, everything was silent in the cab. Then shaking the driver, "Are you okay?" "I'm sorry, but you scared the daylights out of me." The badly shaken passenger apologized to the driver and said, "I didn't realize a mere tap on the shoulder would startle someone so badly." The driver replied, No, it's okay. I'm the one that's sorry. It's entirely my fault. Today is my very first day driving a cab. I've been driving a hearse for 25 years. Okay.
Yeah. Well, you got one laugh. That's important.
Hey, I can laugh when you guys don't laugh. All
All
right.
right, I'll give you a chance to redeem yourself.
All right.
One more.
A doctor and a lawyer and a little boy and a priest were out Sunday afternoon on a flight in a small plane. Suddenly, the plane developed engine trouble, and in spite of the effort of the pilot, the plane started to go down. Finally, the pilot grabbed the parachute, yelled to the passengers that they had better jump, and then he bailed out. Unfortunately, there was only 3 parachutes remaining. The doctor grabbed one and said, "I'm a doctor. I save lives. I must live." And he jumped out. The lawyer then said, "I'm a lawyer, and lawyers are the most smartest people in the world. I deserve to live." And he grabbed a parachute and jumped out. The priest looked at the little boy and said, "Son, I've lived a long, full life. You're young and you have a whole life ahead of you. Take this parachute and live in peace." The little boy handed the parachute back to the priest and says, "Not to worry, Father. The smartest man in the world just jumped out of the plane with my backpack."
That is good. That's much better. Those are good to get started. Okay, I don't want to rub Maria's thunder with those kind of jokes, but Maria, I'd like you to say a few words to we have over 60 some participants. So you have
Great.
a nice little group plus the panelists.
Well, thank you so much for having me, Stan. It's an absolute honor to be with you all here today. And I can see that my friend Greg Reif and Deb Shallard are already making comments in the chat. So thank you. I first of all, I want to make sure that everyone and each of you is staying healthy and safe during this period of time. It has been extraordinary, and my heart goes out to those impacted by COVID. Your loved ones, your friends. This is a terrible time in our society, and really coming together is, I think, something, and sticking together is part of really what's been the culture that you created at Portland General, most recently and many years ago. So thank you. This year has been tough on the company. We started out with COVID. We had all of the social unrest and protests in downtown Portland, which were particularly challenging, especially on the World Trade Center buildings. I would also say that the issues around racial equality and what we can do better as a company really left to a lot of soul searching of us as leaders and the entire company. We then went into a period of time with two really significant events. One of our own making in terms of energy trading issues that we had. And I can't tell you how blessed we are to have a great board of directors to help guide us through that. We reduced the losses, made sure the event was isolated, and will ensure that it never, ever happens again. So we are learning from this, coming together. But I promise you, it has been painful, and we take full accountability and are being transparent. The other is wildfires. An enormous amount of acreage burned across the state of Oregon. And a good portion of that was in PGE's service area. We know of no area, no equipment of Portland General Electric's that contributed to any wildfires. But we do know that we had two significant transmission lines burned. We had damage to one of our hydro facilities, Oak Grove, which will mean that it probably will not operate for probably at least until mid-2022. We turned off the power proactively and then worked with first responders on shutting off power in 8 other areas across the state. Believe it or not, but in 1 week, your friends and people working here restored power to 250,000 customers in such a short period of time. We will continue working through the issues, and we will get smarter and move even faster with regards to wildfire preparation. But please know that what the performance that we had is the result of hard work on many, particularly those on the front lines, many of whom also were evacuated or were getting ready to evacuate from their own homes, particularly in the Gresham area and others. But also we have been doing a lot of planning, training, investing in equipment, procedures, and that advanced work paid off. Most recently, we've had other challenges as COVID has come back into our communities at a more rapid pace, and PGE is no different. We've had more than a doubling of cases of people who are currently working just in the last couple of weeks or months. So we take it very seriously. We take very seriously and treat it truly as a privilege, our ability to serve and be of service to Oregonians. This is a time of crisis. It's a time to come together and to lead. And we have been very fortunate to work in a business where people need us. And I believe that we are appreciated as a company. All of our entire 130-year history, which you helped create and were instrumental in really creating a better future for the company going forward. And just this morning, I was talking with the head of the union, as well as on a separate call with the governor, Kate Brown. And I believe that we are operating better and we are more highly respected today, having successfully come through all of these crises in a terrible, horrible, no good, very bad year. And we are a stronger company as we turn into 2021. So it's really thanks to all of you and myself, the rest of us and our coworkers, still at work every day. We stand on your shoulders and what you created and the legacy that you left, and we are grateful. Anne, let me turn it over to you, and then I think we also have some time for questions.
That's great. Thanks, Maria. And thanks, Stan, and everyone. It's good to see you in this different sort of virtual world. And like Maria was saying, we've learned a lot through this period in terms of how we work differently in order to ensure that we're keeping the lights on for all the Oregonians that we serve. One of the things that Stan asked me to speak about with all of you that you might be curious about is how did we support employees through this time period? And I would tell you that, you know, we got about halfway through this year, and I remember Maria and I having a conversation about the fact of how proud we were of the organization's ability to pivot through all of this. So through all the kind of personal chaos, I think people were feeling, either dealing with thinking about protecting themselves from getting sick, to being parents and having to figure out how to manage distant learning. Our team really stepped up through this time period. Part of what happened in March, which was truly amazing, was that we took our workforce that weren't essential to being in the office or in the field, if you will, doing work that required them to be physically present, and sent everyone home to do their work. So think about our customer service reps. You all know the Tualatin location. All of that team ended up going home over a very short period of time in order to continue to serve our customers. And it was really important that we got people settled because a lot of Oregonians have been struggling through this time period and need the support of our team. Being able to call in and talk about different bill paying arrangements in order to ensure that they're keeping the lights on so that they can keep their lives moving forward. So it's been very stressful for a lot of our customers. So having our team sort of settled in and ready to serve is super important. We quickly amended a lot of our programs. So thinking about things like, you might recall, we have a PTO donation program. So asking people to think about giving to that. We put some paid leave programs in place so that if people had to quarantine or if they had to tend to some parenting issues, that they were supported in that way by the organization and could focus on caring for themselves so that they could then get back to work and care for our customers. And then we also wanted to make sure that we were supporting our community. So there were a number of things that we did to give back into the community to support different organizations in the community that need our support right now, including donating masks. We found that we had 9,000 N95 masks in our storerooms that we could repurpose to healthcare workers early on in the pandemic. And then during the period of around kind of June, July, when we're really thinking about how to make an impact in the areas of social unrest, we opened up a special giving campaign so that employees could give, and created some really cool in-house videos of our Black coworkers, having them share their story where they felt comfortable doing that, so others could hear the pain that they were experiencing and had been experiencing their whole lives, so that we could come together as one PGE. So a lot of things, a lot of really just important work went on that was very different from what we normally do. But I would say the organization came together in a really important way. And I think we proved to ourselves that, we could really pivot in a way that we hadn't thought perhaps possible in such a short period of time. So it's just been a really interesting year. I will be the first to raise my hand to say, I'm looking forward to it starting 2021 and putting kind of this year's difficulties behind us. But it wasn't without a lot of growth and I'd say teamwork. So, to Maria's point, we laid the groundwork for the organization to be able to do that by creating a culture where people wanted to come together and really help each other out.
So, Anne, I think we have a special concert coming our way.
Oh, good.
Yep. Yes, we do. And so what I'd like the participants to do, if they have any questions, go ahead and go to chat and give them Q&A, and Leanne Sneath or Terry Clellan will be collecting those. And then after our little our two-bit brothers do their little song and dance routine, then we'll open up a few questions for Maria and Ann. So Roger, you wanna, or John, you wanna talk to Bill and Dwayne?
Yes. Hi, Bill. Hi, Dwayne. How are you?
Hello. Howdy.
I just want to really thank you guys for jumping in when we said, hey, can you help out? And you've really gone beyond what we expected. So I want to share my appreciation that you not only created some music, but you guys got into videos. Was that a new thing? And how did that come about?
Actually, we've been doing quite a number of videos, especially with COVID hitting. We've sent out videos to a lot of our friends and supporters that come out to see us play, and we weren't playing because of COVID. So we would send them videos and posted a lot on Facebook as well. So we're not new to it. We've been doing that for a while.
Well, that's great. But what's the history, you two guys? I mean, you met at PGE, but tell us a little bit about how you guys work.
So we, glad to do that. So this goes back a long ways, probably some names that you remember, Bruce Carpenter, Dave Gundolf, Chick Mangus, Dwayne and I, and several others, actually. We had a kind of a musical group around PGE we called the Howling Dogs. And whenever there was an opportunity to play at a retirement party, or remember we did one time, I think we played for the officers, and we played a song we called Country Roads Power Poles. And over the years, as we played this song, we would change the lyrics around. Of course, it's a John Denver song, but we put our own PG lyrics to it. So, John, if it's time for the first video, I'd say let's go for it.
All right, Roger's going to share his screen and fire it up.
There we go.
Almost heaven, Western Oregon,
Put the volume up.
Rocky Mountains, Laramie Valley vineyards, Portland General, trading once again, listed on the NYSE, back where it began. Country roads, power poles, keeping all the lines in the sun. Read those meters, answer those phones. Portland General, take me home. April 3rd, what a day. Free from Enron, now we're on our way. Stuck to our values, knew what we had to do. Focus on our jobs and the future would be true. Country roads, power poles, keep it on the lines. Read the songs, read those meters, answer those phones. Portland General, take me home. I hear the hum of the generators calling me. Portland Coyote and the hydro's running fine. In the weeds I hear the whisper, Bigelow Canyon coming online, coming online. Country roads, power poles, keeping on the lines. In the songs, read those meters, answer those phones. Portland General, take me home. Country roads, power poles, keeping on the lines. In the songs, read those meters, answer those phones. Portland General, take me home. Oh, Portland General, go take me home.
Great.
That was, my understanding is you've had to change the lyrics at times.
That we did. Actually, that goes all the way back to April 3rd was the day that Portland General went public on the New York Stock Exchange. So that tells you how long ago that song was written. And then as new generation plants came online, we would change the lyrics to put those new generation plants. We probably need to do an update on the song is what we probably need to do now. So
I think Ann and Maria might appreciate that. Hey, you guys have been really developing some musical skills. You've done some videos and audios and entertainment. What else? Have you been doing any writing of any kind?
Yes, we've got 4 original songs that we just recently recorded that is in the final mix. So stay tuned. We'll probably have an EP out one of these days here.
and I had to look that up. An EP stands for extended play, and kind of replaces what used to be an album or out. So this next video, when we had those 9 or 10, Maria talked about the wildfires that we had and just how devastating that those were. And during the 9 or 10 days of isolation that we had in, my wife and I had in our house here, I was thinking is, so we had all the social unrest downtown, we've had COVID, and then we had these wildfires. And so I was sitting in my den and I thought, I have to write something here. And so I wrote this song called Angels Are Flying. And I was thinking about angels are flying away from us. Things are just so bad. But really, at the end, angels aren't flying away from us. But anyway, we recorded this song. This is on our EP. This will be the first time it is released. So here you go for all 60, almost 70 of you there. So why don't you play that? This song is called Angels Are Flying.
Go for it, Roger.
1, 2, 3, 4. Looking for a new day, looking for a new way, trying to find my way back home. Smoke in the air, 19 in the air, trying to find my way back home. Angels are flying, angels are flying, angels are flying away. Angels are flying, angels are flying, angels are flying away. Marches in the streets, lights ready to meet. Hope I find my way back home. No paycheck found, division all around. Hope I find my way back home. Angels are flying, angels are flying, angels are flying away. Angels are flying, angels are flying, angels are flying away. There must be some way, must be some way to get out of here. Do things one time and all, make a better way to get out of here. Will the vaccine work? Won't will it work? No, I found my way back home. Friends, they are true, hearts won't be blue. Now I find my way back home. Angels are flying, angels are flying, angels are flying away. Angels are flying, angels are flying, angels are flying away. Ooh, 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 ooh. 2, 3, 4.
Well, all I can say, Bill and Dwayne, is wow. I knew Portland General hired good people. That's one of the reasons I stayed so long, is they just kept hiring and bringing in people with a lot of talent. I just never realized how much musical talent that the company has. Maybe that's a whole new initiative that Anne and Marie can take on. Maybe the PGE choir, who knows what might be out there in the future. I don't advise them to take on a joke telling group, but the rest of it might be things we can do. Say, hey, the next portion of our agenda today, we wanted to kind of try to do a sing-along type of thing, which is really hard to do with delays in video and things on the internet. But tell me about the songs you put into a little medley that we're going to do here that people can sing along with.
Yeah, we have a little holiday melody with Jingle Bells and We Wish You a Merry Christmas. And we want to just, traditional Christmases that we've always had in the past are going to be different this year. And we want everybody to really think about the true meaning of Christmas. And we want to, on behalf of Bill and I, wish you all a Merry Christmas.
Merry Christmas.
And a Happy New Year.
Well, thank you, Bill, and thank you, Dwayne. Roger, take us away.
Okay.
Everybody can sing along. I'll put it on mute.
1, 2, 3. Dashing through the snow on a one-horse open sleigh, o'er the fields we go, laughing all the way. Bells on bobtails ring, making spirits bright. What fun it is to ride and sing and sleigh. Oh, jingle bells, jingle all the way. Oh, what fun it is to ride in a one-horse open sleigh. Jingle bells, jingle all the way. Oh, what fun it is to ride in a one-horse open sleigh. A day or two ago, I thought I'd take a ride into Miss Fanny Bright was seated at my side. The horse was lean and lank, his fortune seemed his lot. He got into a drifted bank, we got a trot. Oh, jingle bells, jingle all the way. Oh, what fun it is to ride in a one-horse open sleigh.
Hey.
Jingle bells, jingle all the way. Oh, what fun it is to ride in a one-horse open sleigh. Oh, what fun it is to ride in a one-horse open sleigh. We wish you a Merry Christmas. We wish you a Merry Christmas. We wish you a Merry Christmas and a Happy New Year. Good tidings to you wherever you are. Good tidings for Christmas and a Happy New Year. We wish you a Merry Christmas. We wish you a Merry Christmas. We wish you a Merry Christmas and a Happy New Year. Merry Christmas to you all. Peace out.
Peace out. I like that.
Thank you, guys.
Thank you, Bill. Thank you, Dwayne. I'm going to turn it back and turn it over to Terry and Leanne. You have some questions you might run up the flagpole here?
We do, and several people have asked what the long-term look is going to be like for returning to workspaces, and given the successful way things are going with people working from home. What's the plan? What does it look like in a time frame if you know it?
So Terry, first of all, it's wonderful to see you and to hear your voice and see your most festive background. So thank you. Let me turn it over to Anne to answer that question. And I will tell you that you would be so proud of what has happened at Portland General this past year during COVID. People have been resilient. They've been focused on customers and the communities that we serve. And I think we've also been really focused on caring for each other. And mentioned a number of the programs that we have done, particularly to help young families where both parents are working and they have kids at home. And Ann's continued that spirit as we look at hybrid models and actually really being a lot more flexible and thinking differently in the future. So Ann, let me kick it over to you.
Yeah, great. Thanks, Maria. That was a great question. And so the current plan right now is that we're continuing work from home as part of keeping everyone safe. So keeping people that are coming into the workplace or the field safe, and then keeping people home, where they're able. So we'll do that. We've signaled to our employees that we'll do that through the end of the school year so that they can have some certainty about how to do the planning, with their kids and things like that for those that have children at home. But the long-term plan, which is what I think the question's getting at, is really to start to move the organization to this idea of what we're calling a hybrid workforce. And what we'll do there is each manager is currently working with their employees to say what makes sense for our work group. What we're hearing from employees through our pulse surveys is that most people would like to continue to work from home once things go back to normal, 2 to 3 days a week. So depending on their role in the organization, we'll likely see the work teams starting to shift back and forth between work from home and then working in the office. And so what we're doing in the planning stages of that is to say, okay, so what does the workspace look like with regard to that? Because you can imagine, we have everybody right now has an assigned desk where they come in because it assumes a workforce where everybody is physically present every single day of their work week.
Great, thank you.
Another question, Leanne?
Yep, we have another question for Maria around the Boardman closure and how that's going and the status of the decommissioning.
Oh, thank you, Leanne. And first of all, before I talk about the closure, I want to recognize and thank everyone who worked for Boardman at the plant, working on the substations, working on environmental issues associated with the plant, and everything else. The Boardman plant was unbelievably important to our history and to the contribution of power generation in the entire region. It ceased operations in mid-October, and we had a really planful shutdown. You should know that the safety performance was outstanding this past year, and it was remarkable how well the plant ran all the way up to its very last days. Many employees have decided to retire who were at the plant. Some have continued on and are working on decommissioning. And so we're in the process of making sure that the decommissioning of the plant is done absolutely safely and environmentally as best possible. Many of you will remember that the plant had over 100 employees for many years. When I started working with the plant, it was about 130 employees. But at the time that it ceased operations, it had less than 80 employees. And many people have taken other jobs throughout our company in these past couple of years as we've had a planful shutdown, and they're contributing to many of the other generation facilities, as well as to hydros, to line operations, and to many other areas. It's bittersweet that we talk about such a well-run closure and all the planning that took place, but I will tell you, for everyone who worked at the plant, a special thank you to the contributions that you made to the entire region and to the company. So thank you.
We can take one more question, maybe?
So turning off the retirements, another question from the group was how many retirements and how many new hires occurred in 2020?
I'll take that.
That's a question for Ann.
Yeah, I'll take that one. This is the kind of a fun question for me on the new hires piece. So, and then I'll talk about retirements. So at the beginning of COVID, when things really started crashing down, around us and thinking about where was the economy going to go, we slowed up hiring in order to be sure that, we could have as minimal impact on jobs as possible. So Maria, held a meeting with all of our leaders and talked about, that she really wanted people to get creative about how to move people around to make sure that we were really careful as we move through those early months in the pandemic. So we set up this, I'll call it a marketplace, a talent marketplace, and we call it the One PGE Exchange. And what we did is we had managers who had a need host their need like they would a traditional job. And then we had employees who maybe found themselves with extra capacity on their hands because their work had changed so dramatically during this time period, would then volunteer or apply for this work. And so what we were able to do is then move people around. They'd stay in their regular job, but then they might spend a day a week working in another department or helping out. What's been really fun about that is that employees are gaining new skills while helping other parts of the organization that have needs. So we did see some of the work kind of changing in the organization, kind of ebbing and flowing through this time period. A great example is the Incident Command Center. They were so busy in the beginning, as you can imagine, and then they got really busy again during the wildfires. And so we were able to shift people in the organization over to help those work groups where there was such a huge demand. The program was so successful that we're going to go ahead and continue it into 21 and continue to morph it. So think about how to give employees other opportunities. So they'll continue to have their day job, but then are there other things they can do and go and learn so that people are developing their skills as we move into the future and jobs continue to change and morph with technology. On the retiree side, that was really interesting too, because we were having a hard time forecasting. Did we think we would have the same number of retirements that we normally have, which is right about around 100? Would it slow up because of the pressures of the economy or what? We ended up the year, obviously we haven't closed the year out, but we're right at about 111. So we're just a little bit ahead of where we normally are with our retirements. Some of that is attributable to the Boardman closure. So our employees were kind of working through when did it make sense for them to retire from the organization and kind of timing it with that closure. So we're just barely ahead of our normal retirement amount for each year.
Okay, I'm going to open up for one more question, but be aware that all the questions have come in to both Terry and Leanne. We'll try to respond to as many as we can through our communication system down the road. But you have one more question, either Terry? Terry, you have another question about maybe something to do with the giving programs and the cause cards?
Yeah, well, just one is, give a shout out because those are great programs. And I was hoping to get some details on how many retirees logged volunteer hours and made contributions that the company matched. And I just love to know the kinds of contributions that our retirees have made on behalf of PGE and in the community, and hoping those programs will continue and that our retirees will take advantage of those. So anyway, any idea about how retirees utilize those programs, those community programs?
I don't have that information, but we could certainly get it. I don't know, Maria, if you do.
I do not, but Terry, I want you to know, and you and I have talked about this, and I know that Bill Nicholson is also has joined us because he just sent a note to everybody. But we've talked a lot about how important it is to continue to engage with all of you on your volunteer interests, your activities. Portland General has a tremendous history of giving back, and we'll get you the exact numbers with regards to retiree participation in all these programs. But whether it is our annual giving campaign, whether it is the giving and volunteering that you and our coworkers do on a daily basis, it makes an enormous difference to everyone in our communities. We're so fortunate to live in a state where we have been a leader for over 130 years. And I think of so many things through the decades that have made a difference to our customers and to this region because of what you have done. And I think right now, during the period of pandemic, when we are so fortunate and there are so many people who are struggling, needs are that much greater. So thank you so much for all that you're doing and contributing to our communities and still representing Portland General. So thank you.
And just, we want to thank you because that matching money means a lot, especially this time of year with the pandemic, and the food banks are in just dire needs of money. And so when we can donate to food banks and go through you, that means for every $2 we donate, you guys throw in an extra. So that's just a fantastic thing. And that's what we hope that continues on, because we appreciate that. Okay.
Absolutely. Well, we appreciate all you do, and thank you.
All right. Well, that, like I say, we'll try to answer any of the questions that we didn't get to today. We do have a time restraint up to a little bit. Terry, you want to unmute Terry so he can have a crack at a couple more jokes there, John?
He can unmute himself.
Okay, Terry needs to unmute himself. Yeah, okay, now, okay, unmute yourself, Terry. Got to click on the mic.
There we
Oh,
go.
There you go. All right, I'm going to give you a couple more cracks at some jokes.
All right. Well, I'll give you this one here anyway. There's a woman walking along the beach and she finds an old lamp. She picks it up and rubs it, and out comes a genie. And the genie says to the woman, "Thank you for freeing me from the oil lamp. I will grant you 3 wishes. But whatever you wish for, your horrible ex-husband will get twice as much. What is the first wish?" The woman says, "I'd like $1 million in my bank account, please." The genie says, "You now have $1 million in your bank account, and your ex-husband now has $2 million in his bank account. What is your second wish?" The woman says, "I've always wanted a nice car. I'd like the brand new Rolls Royce, please." The genie says, "Now you have a new Rolls Royce in your garage at home, and your ex-husband now has 2 new Rolls Royces. What is your third wish?" The woman thought for a while, and then she said, "I'd like you to remove one of my kidneys."
Okay.
All right.
And with that, before
should
we
probably
open
do
up the questionnaires or the end of the program with polling questions, I want to definitely thank Maria and Ann and Bill and Dwayne. This is, like I said, a first attempt. We had almost 70 participants. I thought it was quite good, plus about 14 of the panelists. So thank you very much. And John, go ahead and, or Terry, let's see, who's going to
Thank
run
you
the
all.
questionnaire? Okay,
Thank
thanks
you,
again,
thank
and Merry
Thank
Christmas,
you.
Happy New Year.
Merry Christmas, happy holidays.
Okay.
Thanks,
all-
Maria.
Thank you.
Thanks, Ann.
Bye. Nice to see
Okay.
you all.
We'll start the
Thank
poll.
you. Bye-bye.
We need
Hey,
your
Ed, you're
feedback.
going to do the question. Oh, stick around and do the questionnaire.
Yes, and Roger's going to take us out.
Dashing through the snow on a one-horse open sleigh. O'er the fields we go, laughing all the way. Bells on bobtails ring, making spirits bright. What fun it is to ride and sing a sleighing song tonight. Oh, jingle bells, jingle all the way. Oh, what fun it is to ride in a one-horse open sleigh. Jingle bells, jingle all the way. Oh, what fun it is to ride in a one-horse open sleigh. A day or two ago, I thought I'd take a ride into Miss Fanny Bright. Was seated at my side, the horse was lean and lank. Misfortune seemed his lot. He got into a drifted bank, we got a trot. Oh, jingle bells, jingle all the way. Oh, what fun it is to ride in a one-horse open sleigh. Jingle bells, jingle all the way. Oh, what fun it is to ride in a one-horse open sleigh. Oh, what Christmas to you all.
Peace out.
Yay. Well, the
Thank
poll is
you.
still, the poll is still going, but I'll give you the early results. We have 89% of the of our group has answered, and the ratings are all excellent and good, and so people thought it was great. About future webinars like this, where we can have guests come in, the answer was 98% absolutely yes. So I think that's a good indication that if we do spend the money in the budget to have a webinar feature, it could end up being pretty highly desired and used. That's a budget question for later. Would you consider joining the Retirees Face group? 69% were already, and 17% were not Facebook in the group, but said they would join it.
Good.
I think we've generated a little interest to join that Facebook group, and only 14% said they don't use Facebook. So that's good to know. And then, of course, the most important question is the good humor rating. There was 18% that said none of the above. There were 52% said all of the above, so they thought you were both good. And oh man,
That's the best answer.
It's a virtual tie between Stan and Terry. There's it's statistically no difference between the number of votes, about 15% each for you all. So we don't have a definitive answer yet on the joke telling, which is probably the best way to end it.
We'll keep Terry.
We're gonna have to work on it, Stan, I guess.
Yeah, I can see that. It's gonna be a full-time job.
Let me tell you, the gutsiness to tell a blonde joke with two of the vice presidents sitting there was, we're going to have a joke committee that kind of reviews ahead of time. So Leanne, please tell them that there was some pushback and no prior review.
No problem. I do have an update for you though on the retiree giving campaign that you'd asked about.
Yeah.
Just a second. So retirees contributed $204,700.
Wow.
Just
nice.
Fabulous. And then there was a $95,000 match and 7,550 hours of volunteer time were logged.
That's a great contribution. Thanks, Leanne, for getting that.
Yeah.
And we're happy to keep doing it too.
Yeah.
That's one of the things
That's
about
good
the
to hear, Stan.
retirees.
One of these days we can do it together too, perhaps.
Right. So again, like I say, I want to thank all the
That'd be-
communications people we have here. Leanne, pass on to both Maria and Ann. We appreciate very much them being here. Again, Bill and Dwayne, thank you very much. We appreciate you guys' involvement. Terry, Judkins, keep up the good work with the jokes. Don't give up your day job like myself. We're both in that category.
Yeah.
So, and Terry Clellan, Ed, Roger, all you people, Leanne, thank you very much. All right. So,
Yeah.
and like I said, at one time we were up to 69 participants. Now, I don't know if, does that include the board members, Roger?
Yes, I think it does.
Yeah.
Okay, well, so anyhow, that's pretty good for our first crack at this.
I saw a message from Alan Warman, who said that he was in Mexico, and yet he had joined the webinar. So that's one added feature of being online.
Yeah, well, the word will get out. I'm sure that the 70 or almost 70 that were on can pass it on to their other friends. And then at the same time, the retirees can talk to their friends that aren't members of the email. They can get a hold of Ed or Terry or anyone and log in and get signed in so that they can stay in communications. I didn't see Judy today, but I wanted to thank her for all that she's done. So like I say, we made it in the hour time frame that I asked for, and guess what? It's right now 2 o'clock, so I think we did wonderful. Thanks again, Roger and John and everybody. So have a Merry Christmas.
Merry Christmas.
And
You too.
like I say, I'll be sending off a couple thank yous to Maria and Ann. So I'll try to get them in the mail within a week. Thanking
And
them.
Leanne, thank you very much.
You're
And-
welcome.
Leanne.
Merry Christmas, everybody.
And okay,
Thank
so
you.
all you guys take
Dwayne,
care
thanks,
and-
buddy.
And have
Yep.
a great